Very good morning, all of you who have joined today's session. I hope I'm clearly audible and the audio and the screen is clearly visible for all of you. Please let me know in the chat box so that we can start the session in another few minutes. I think I'm audible and the screen is visible for all of you. Yes? Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So, for your interaction in the chat box. So I'll be starting a session, a new topic in this today's session. Okay. So basically today we are going to discuss a soft skill topic which is based on adaptability. Okay. So we are going to discuss in detail, in much detail, what is adaptability, why it is required, and all everything in in detail we are going to discuss. Okay. So before that, let me just give a small introduction about myself. So this is Prajwal, trainer from Seven Sense Talent Solution. So I do have a experience of 2 years in taking aptitude and soft skills. So today I'll be taking session for all of you related to this soft skill topic. Okay. So today we are going to discuss a topic which is based on every person's lifetime. Once here and there we are going to feel these topics in a day-to-day aspect. Okay. So entire in your life since childhood, right? So until we die, so everyone definitely need this topic, right? So we need to know this topic because we are going to adopt this topic in a day-to-day life in order to get the productive results, right? So generally I hope the topic is visible for all of you. Today's topic is adaptability. So just I'm going to ask a small question. Okay. So generally, if I ask you what is adaptability, so how do you define it on a general basis, on a general way? How do you define it? So since your childhood, so everyone need to adapt here and there. I'll be discussing in depth. Okay. So, but if I'm asking you generally, what is adaptability? How do you define it basically? Yes. On a general basis, how can you define this topic called adaptability on a general? I'm asking in general. So some may define it as like we are going to make ourselves comfortable for the change in environment, right? Or some may define it in a different way. So it depends. So how do you define it? Yes, acting according to situations, good. So, on a general aspect, yes, exactly. So, adaptability is nothing but for a change in environment, we have to make ourselves comfortable in order to keep going, right? For example, before and all, I hope you are very much aware of this before pandemic and all of you. So, all of you, like you have done, you are asked to have sessions and all, right? So whether it is like a placement training or whether it is like a normal sessions which are done for you people, right? So everything was very good, acting according to situations, good. So everything was offline. So you are asked to supposed to go to college, and you are like physical appearance was there and all, right? So due to pandemic and all, just the shift, the pace was changed from offline to online, right? So due to pandemic, the shift was changed from offline to online. So it doesn't mean that we are not going to learn things, right? So if you keep on thinking that yes, the change has happened, okay, so I don't want to learn anything, I don't want to listen for classes and all. So if that is a situation, if that is the atmosphere which you are creating for yourself, that is a mindset which you are creating for yourself, so definitely I'm telling you, so we are not going to learn anything, so we'll be sticking there itself, right? So instead of that, if we have made our mind like adaptive, if we have adapted ourselves for the change in environment, so definitely I can tell you, so instead of like sticking ourselves to confining ourselves to a pertaining thing, right? So a certain thing, definitely we can make sure that whatever the changes they are, we can learn the new things according to it, right? So that is one thing which we have to keep in mind. Also, we need to learn why adaptability is required. What is adaptability? How we can adapt ourselves for the change in environment, right? So already you guys have answered this question. What is adaptability? Gopi Chand has answered according, like acting according to situations, right? So I'm asking one more question. Why do we need it? Why do we need adaptability? So why do you guys think that adaptability is required? Why do you think adaptability is required? What is the use of it? What is the use of having adaptabilities? Are we going to get benefited or we are not going to get benefited? Whether we are going to be any use is there by having adaptabilities? Any advantages are there? Right? Similarly, like there are advantages if we adopt to the situations, right? So how we can achieve adaptability is also very much important. Don't you guys think how we can achieve adaptability? Right? So definitely we have more solutions. We have more solutions for the accommodation of change in environment, for the accommodation of change in atmosphere, right? So we are going to look over those. First, we are going to discuss why adaptability is required, okay, and what is adaptability, and then we will just move on to the how we can have a change, drastic change in the adaptability, okay. So basically, as you already defined it, adaptability is nothing but it's the ability to change or to be changed for filled altered circumstances. So I already given you an example also, right? So we have a change in placement trainings, we have a change in the day-to-day classes, right? So we have a change in even in the jobs also, right? So a lot of companies are hiring people even though in this pandemic time, but they are sticking themselves, they are adhering to themselves due to COVID, due to pandemic, and they are asking their employees to have work from home also, right? So initially, like previously, we don't know this concept of what is work from home, what are online classes. We do have online classes, but that is not strictly adhered to the everyday class. Means any course class or engineering classes or a day-to-day classes which is done in schools, colleges, and all, right? But now we are able to adapt to the change in environment, change in atmosphere, and just we are moving through it, right? So it is also more than being flexible though. So adaptability is also can be achieved if you guys are very much flexible. So can you just give an example for being flexible? Just a normal example for being flexible. Yes. Any small example from your side being flexible? Yes, a small example in your day-to-day life, which indicates that you people are flexible. Yes, a small example. Can anyone? So just have a thought of it. A small example. So flexibility is nothing but it is also like about being open to things even outside, or I can tell you from comfort zone or being like a cocoon. I hope everyone, all of you know what is a cocoon, right? So in the initial days, if the cocoon is like only confined to that atmosphere, within that shell or within that small place, right? So but in order to develop itself into a one, so definitely it has to accommodate to the change in atmosphere once it come out of it, right? So everyone need to come out of our life like a cocoon. We should not be like a cocoon, or we should even consider ourselves to come outside of our comfort zone, right? So definitely it is very important for all of you. Next, we'll just look on why adaptability is required. So, what is the use of adaptability? So, we defined what is adaptability, right? So, adaptability is nothing but it is a change in environment, change in atmosphere. It is nothing but change in environment or changing atmosphere, right? So, why it is required? What is the use of it? What is the use of having adaptability? We are going to discuss now. Okay, so in the workplace, or whether you are in home or whether you are in the workplace, so adaptability within the family members is going to have a great pleasure in the home atmosphere, right? So if the people are adaptable to each and everyone, if the people are adaptable to the situations and circumstances whatever they are going to face, right? So whatever they are going to face, definitely it is making helpful for everyone. Similarly, I have given an example for family atmosphere. So what is the use of having? What is the use of having a family atmosphere, like adaptability in the family atmosphere we discussed? So definitely it is going to help each and every person who is residing in family, right? If we take an example, we take an example of work atmosphere, working environment. So what is the use of it? So definitely each and every person, the multiple generation in the workplace are going to adhere for themselves. They are going to make a comfort zone for themselves. So it increases the productivity also, right? It increases the productivity also in the workplace. And also because of the telecommunication are fast, right? So remote work teams is becoming, so teams or work are getting becoming remote places, right? Just for an example, 5 years back, if you just take an example of the what is the cost of 1 GB data, right? So everything, the internet, the call ratings and all, so was very high, right? So 5 years ago. So because of one company made which has made which has reduced the price of data and callings and all in India, so automatically like all other companies has to make, or they have made the changes, they have reduced the cost in order to give the competition. So because of that arising in competition, so every like internet facilities or data charges and all. So data charges are reduced and also call ratings reduced. So because of the reducing data charges and all, everything started like online network. Online networking has been drastically increased, right? So because of the increase in the online networking and all, so definitely we started having a lot of creating a lot of online platforms and all, right? So if that is not the situation, definitely would have not, it is not easy for the people, for the working class of people to have work from home facilities and all. The availability of internet and all is there for a remote areas also nowadays in the country. And also they are getting the internet source at a low cost or at a cheap rate, right? So also advances in technology mean that we have to keep learning and evolving. So how many of you agree with this fact? So as all of you are like engineers, so definitely are going to pass engineering or definitely are going to be graduated. So you are going to remove that last three words from being an engineering student. So you're going to remove that ing and you are going to become an engineer, right? So once you complete your graduation, so definitely you're going to either work or do startups or whatever it may be, like definitely you're going to be productive, each and every individual in whatever the sectors it may be. So how many of you agree with this point that advances in technology mean that we have to keep learning and evolving? How many of you agree with this point? Yes, no one is going to agree to this point. No one is going to agree to this point. If you are going to agree to this point, please put it as yes in the chat box. If you are not agreeing, please put it as no in the chat box. So I do agree with this statement. So if you people are whether agreeing or not, but definitely I'm going to be I'm going to agree with this statement because so each and every day, once we are going to have an advancement in technology, definitely we need to be keep on updating ourselves. So if you take languages, computer languages and all, right? So initially people are very much enthusiastic about Java and all, right? So C, C++, Java and all. So now like Python is the trending language. So definitely people who don't know Python, like they are going to make it mandatory for the people to learn Python in order to give a competition for the employees who are working in the corporate world, right? So definitely it is very much required for the people for their survival, for their existence to keep on updating, right? So what happens if they are not updating? So whether we are going to keep a keypad or a low version of Android to with us for a long period of time, whether we are going to keep the technology for a longer period of time, no. So we are also updating with the technology, right? So initially 10 years back, none of us know that definitely we can use the data and all, so callings and all for unlimited. So initially the call rates were very high, right? So take any example, not only the data or call rates or anything, you take any example. So we keep on we are updating ourselves. So I hope you guys are very much aware that, right? So there is also like evolution in the space tourism. So recently on 11th June, the people started. They have done the experiment, right? So for taking the passenger into space and giving them a feel of zero gravity and all. So now the recent trending technology, it is like a trending technology. So today also one of the companies which is related to Jeff Bezos, making they are taking a trial, right? So taking the people to the space and giving them a feel of zero gravity, right? today itself, on 20th June, July, right? So these are the enhancement, these are the advances in technology. So if one company is going to give something of less cost, if one company is going to, it is doing something right greater, so definitely the competitor are supposed to accommodate for the changes. The competitors are going to take those changes, right? So then only it is possible for the sustain in the society, sustain in the market, sustain in the global market, because the world is becoming like a global village. So days were there where countries are separated, their countries are apart, right? So south is south, east is east, west is west. So now each and every point, each and every place of a world is connected, each and every place of the world is connected, right? So as the world is connected, definitely we are in a place like a global economy, right? So we are in a place of global economy, and also we need to make sure that each and everything, whatever the changes which is happening, we are going to accommodate to it, right? Otherwise the survival of the fittest, if we are not accommodating, definitely we are going to become useless, right? So how to improve this adaptability changes, or how to improve the flexibility in a person? So is there any ways to improve our adaptability skills, or is there any ways to improve our flexible skills for the changing environment? Yes. Is there any ways for accumulating ourselves for the changing atmosphere? Is there any ways to accommodate for the changes, to have a adaptability mindset? Yes, we do have a lot of ways in order to improve those set of skills, right? So always we should make sure that we are going to have a open mindset. So instead of having a narrow thinking, instead of having a closed type of thinking, right? So we are not accepting what others are giving suggestions and all, right? So instead of having such type of thinking, it is very much essential, it is very much indeed to have a open mindset, right? Open mindset in the sense like we need to think something which is positive, which like we are going to take each and every person's suggestions and all. So just we at least we need to have a mindset of listening to others, whether like we you are going to implement it or not, that is secondary thing. But if you are having a open mindset, definitely you will not be having any queries with the people, with the persons who are there with you, right? So just you're going to listen to them, just you're going to listen to them, right? So once you listen to them, definitely you're going to get some points which is going to help you people for the change in atmosphere, which is going to help people to have some adaptable techniques, right? That is one thing. And the other thing is that if you travel more, also you'll be frequently physically going to get adopted for the various climatic conditions and all which is present, right? So if you start traveling more and more, definitely physically you're going to become more adaptable for the change in environment, for the change in climatic conditions, right, the phase in weathers and all, right? Right. So how many of you going to agree with this point? So that by traveling more, definitely we can have a adaptable mindset, which is related to physical, at least which is related to physical, not right. How many of you are agree with this point? Yes. I hope at least some of the people are going to agree with this point, right? So also there are some more things which we can follow, that we should have a willingness to learn. If you have this willingness to learn, definitely you can make yourself clear that you are going to have adaptable conditions, you are going to improve the adaptable conditions, right? So you can definitely have a mindset, a positive mindset, right, which help you people for the accumulation of the changes, right? So which you can give towards the atmosphere so that you are going to become adaptable, right? So is there any difference between being flexible and being adaptable, guys? Is there any difference basically but between being flexible and being adaptable? I'm asking mental perspective, not in a physical perspective, in a mental perspective. Being adaptable and being flexible, is there a difference basically which you can just have an eagle eye? Just if you just look on to that point. So is there any difference basically? Yes, definitely.
We do have a lot of differences between being flexible and also being adaptable, right? So flexible in the sense like whatever the changes which is taking place in the environment, or whatever the changes which is taking place in the technology or the day-to-day aspect, whatever like wherever like we are working, right? So being flexible is just being like adhere to it, just being like whatever the facts which are taking place, just if you are able to digest it in the simple words I can explain, if you are able to digest it, if you're able to surpass that condition or that situation, so that is like being flexible. So you're not thinking about the futuristic things, or you're not having a futuristic waves, right? In the other point of view, if you are like adaptable means not only like being flexible, but also so related to such type of situations, whatever the situations which you are going to face in your life in the futuristic point of view. So definitely if you are having that change in yourself, if you are having that change in yourself for any type of such conditions and such situation, so that is like we can explain, we can tell you that it is like being flexible. In the improved version, it is like being adaptable, right? So you should take yourself out of your comfort zone, right? So if you are like out of your comfort zone, definitely you can make sure that you are going to have a adaptable environment. So once you get the adaptable environment, so by hook or crook you are going to become adaptable, you're going to become flexible, right? So just think this, okay? I'm going to give a small example for it. For example, just a small example. So if you are like not doing any physical exercise in a day, okay? If you're not doing any physical exercise in a day, just are going to like have food, just you are going to do the core, just you are going to do the whatever the work which is assigned to you, or whatever the things which you are required to learn and all, right? So at one day, if you are asked to have a competition in your college, you're just having a competition, an athletic competition, or just you're having a sports day, right? So if you are just going to practice the day before that event, so is it possible to make sure that you're going to win that, or just is it possible that you're going to compete in it and making it successful? Is it possible within 1 day, or within 2 days, or within few days prior to it? Yes, is it possible? It is not at all possible, right? So as this question, it is not at all possible, it is not at all possible to win. So just don't think of that winning a game. Just it is not at all possible to participate actively in it, right? So because you are not came out of your comfort zone, you're not practiced, and physically also, whether mentally also, you're not prepared for it, right? So it do require some amount of preparation on prior to the competitions or on prior to whatever the situation we discussed, right? So you can compare that same example to a day-to-day life. So whatever the conditions, if you are going to face suddenly, right? So you may get shocked about it, you may get you may not able to adapt to the changes which is happening, right? So you'll be shocked to it if it is of a sudden thing, right? You'll be shocked by the changes which is happening, right? So instead of like being a cocoon, instead of being just sitting inside the comfort zone, if you're coming outside, and if you're like just playing something, or if you're just practicing something, or if you're just looking the word in every aspect, right? So definitely you can make sure that you're going to have a positive outlook, you're going to have a positive identity, you're going to see everything, each and everything in a positive way, right? So what does it indicate in the end? What does it indicate, or what does it gives? What does it give? So you being a adaptable and flexible person, you will get a confidence. Yes, very good. So you're going to get a confidence to face the situations. So you'll not get panic. So if you are going to face a difficult situation in your life, so I'm not telling that everyone is going to face a difficult situation. I'm just giving an example. So whenever like you're just going to face a difficult situations or panic conditions in your day-to-day life, or it whether it may be academics, or whether it is related to your health, or whether it is related to economic conditions, or whatever it may be, right? So at least one or other day, definitely we are going to face some situations, we are going to undergo some situations, I can tell, which is not aware, I can tell, which is unaware. We are not even having some idea that we are going to face that situations and all, right? So at that situation, what happens? So if we are like if you already have that just a practice of it, if you are already have a thought of it, what exactly you're going to face and or at least a 1% knowledge of it, definitely you won't become panic at that time, right? And also like always we should try to improvise ourselves on a day-to-day basis, not only coming out of our comfort zone and doing things which are necessary, right? But also each and every day, if you need not to compare with others. So I'm telling all of you, need not to compare with others, that whether I am getting improved compared to that person, whether I'm getting improved compared to this person, whether I'm getting improved compared to my friend or my colleague or my cousin, right? So it is not a comparative way, it is not a comparative thing that you're just comparing to the people whom do you think they are good in something, like whatever the field they are, right? So always you need to compare yourself to the previous day or the previous person, what you are few days ago, and what you are now, and what you are going to become in the future, right? So you need to find that improvise the continuous improvisation of that graph. So at the end, if you are just finding that continuous improvement in you, definitely you can make sure that, so if you are able to have that improvisation in you, definitely you can make sure that you're having a feel of yourself that yes, I can able to do it. I can able to whatever the situations which I'm going to face, I can able to accommodate to it, and I'm going to get the success in it. So improvisation is also very much important in order to be yourself as a adaptable person, right? So being adaptability and embracing the challenges, right? So it gives like moving past them in a way, it promotes growth, and also you are going to give some good performance, right? So I'll just give a small idea about what is the importance or what is the advantages of adaptability in the workplace. Because so once you complete graduation, as already mentioned, as we are discussing about it, so each and every person is going to work in a corporate, right? So definitely we need to know what is the use or what is the advantage or what is the importance of adaptability in the workplace. So it gives a person having adaptability is going to have a core emotional intelligence quality. So you'll be having, I can tell in simple words, good people handling skills, right? So he can mingle with people easily, and he can sustain there, and he can get success with the new people. And it is also ranked that the top among other important like communication, intrapersonal skills and all, work ethics and principles and all. I hope you know these topics and all which are already discussed. So this is also one of the important quality a person need to have in order to get success in any field, right? So if you are just changing a place or changing a country or just changing a state in order to work or in order to read or in order to get knowledge, whatever it may be, right? So employer is always interested to know if the candidate would fit into the corporate culture well, and would be able to anticipate changes, respond to it, and make changes on a day-to-day basis, right? So whether it is an MNC or whether it is an any company, so before they hire, they'll be asking you whether you are comfortable to work in a multiple locations, right? So they'll be telling you the locations and all, right? So every company has also have it work and corporate culture, so people has to adapt for it. So whether they are following a western culture or whether they have developed a indigenous culture, whatever it may be, so the people have to adapt for the change in the culture which they have followed. Culture is not related to religious things and all, just I'm talking about work culture, okay? So I'm not talking about other things and all. I'm talking about specifying it that we are discussing about work culture. So people have to adapt for it, whatever they have been through, but they need to adapt for the different culture which they are getting it, right? So we should make or break a deal. Showing adaptability is also like a future that employees look out for, and also good. It could deal. It could give them a break the deal if not having them. So if they are not adaptable, they are not going to have a proper conversation with clients and all. They are not going to give the deal for the company. So it will be like just a break of deal, right? Also, if the people who are more adaptable can be of more productive, in the sense employees who are adaptable will fit for the different cultures of the company, bring success as they are very much productive, and the job description would be a perfect for such people who are adaptable for different locations or different corporate culture. They also know what to adapt and what ways to carry and their work that brings more and more output for them. Also, the employment and promotion opportunity is higher for adaptable individuals compared to the non-adaptable individuals who are having a not skills, a set of skills which makes them flexible person, right? So that is the these are the most important things which we should be aware of about the adaptability or the flexibility which is very much required, right? So just I'll be posting the attendance link and the feedback form, so you can fill it there. I hope got the points which are required for the being adaptable or being flexible, right? Whether it is for a corporate or whether it is for pertaining to your life or whether it is studies. I hope at least you got some idea about what is adaptable, what are the uses of it, how we can. achieve it and all, right? So everyone, the people who are there on the live session, please fill this attendant link which are posted in the chat box. Also, you can fill the feedback form. Once you fill the attendance, please fill the feedback form also. I'm just going to give 1 or 2 minutes. Please fill both the forms. I hope everyone has filled it, right? So please let me know if you have any doubts related to this topic which we have discussed, guys. So we have discussed. I'm just going to give a conclusion.
I'm just going to brush up whatever the things which we discussed in this today's session. First, we discussed what is adaptable. We define what is adaptability, right? And we correlated with it also with the corporate world and also to the day-to-day life aspects and all. Why it is required or why it is needed to have a adaptable mindset and all, right? And how to achieve that. What are the uses? What are the advantages? So each and everything we have discussed related to it, right? So that's all about the today's session, guys. Thank you everyone for being interactive and also patient until the end of the session. So if you have any doubts, please let me know in the chat box, or else like we can wind up for the today's session. Thank you all. Thank you.